Yeah, he grew
Yeah.
up across the
Wow.
street on Havana Street, right? And my great grandmother used to always tell me she would wake up and see the boys going to school, and but my dad, he didn't go to St. Aug. He went to Joseph F. S. Clark. So, but anyway, it's just good to know that rivalry is meaningful and has an impact in that community, and the other rivalries as well. Brother Martin was right around the street from my home off of St. Anthony Avenue. So I know Brother Martin very well as well. So, but Coach, let me ask you this. As far as any other prep football games coming up on the slate for this week, anything we need to highlight for the fans?
Let's see. I got to go to my cheat sheet, Kyle T. Let's see. Here we go. That's right here. And we got week 2 because I was putting my notes together because just like coaches on the sideline, I don't call a play without looking at my play card. Okay. Even though
No,
I
you,
know it.
you mean you're not going to do a Sean Payton?
Oh, yes. I mean, my play card was a 3x5 card, and not that monstrosity that those people carry around. Well, we start off. We have Barb coming from Southwest Louisiana, the Lake Charles area, coming over and playing Mandeville.
Mm.
Rummel is going to the North Shore to play the Covington team that, as I mentioned, just stomped Franklinton. I believe it was like 48-14.
And Franklinton usually has a
like
good squad every year, right?
Yes, they do. Yes, they do. And they've had a coaching change this year. Shane Smith is now on the staff at Southeastern Louisiana,
Okay.
but they still have plenty of good players. I think that's how good Covington is, because like I said, they may have their best team since Jack Salter finished over there. 35, McDonough 35 goes to Slidell. Another huge game. Jesuit is at St. Paul's. St. Paul's has one of their better teams, even though Carr beat them for the first time in 3 years. Last week, St. Paul's is going to be a solid Division I contender. Jesuit is very good. We had Coach Sandri and the Jesuit supporters at Lakeview Harbor last week, where we have the original prep football report.
Okay.
John Ehret goes to East St. John. Landry Walker in an interesting matchup, a neighborhood rivalry. Landry Walker is playing Carr at Berman. West Jefferson goes to Lutcher. I mentioned how good Lutcher is. St. Stanislaus comes down to play Brother Martin. Brother Martin is ranked by the sports writers as the number 1 team in the state in 5A.
Really?
Even though I'm not sure that they are.
Okay.
When you have Curtis and Jesuit in there and some other schools in 5A. But Brother Martin with the 2 Swillings, certainly a lot of great consideration.
And that
there.
is Pat Swilling's kids, right?
Yes, one of them is his son, Trey Swilling, and Bruce Jordan Swilling is his adopted son.
Okay.
He took Bruce in. So both of them are committed to Georgia Tech, which was Pat Swilling's old school.
Yeah.
So that's some really good news there. Brother Martin is very, very good, of course.
Yeah.
De La
Excellent
Salle,
stuff.
who is very good this year as well at the Division II level. I believe they're AAA, but with the select, non-select playoffs, they're playing at Hancock County in Mississippi. So that's a taste of some of the games in the New Orleans area for sure. In the Shreveport area, they've got the battle on the Bayou, I believe it is. Battle on the Border in the Shreveport area, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday night, 2 games each night. The Friday night games are John Curtis playing West Monroe and Evangel playing Neville. So
Neville.
that is some just tremendous games. That's why I'll be pinch hitting for J.T. Curtis on Friday Night Football again with Ed Daniels, because J.T. will be up in Shreveport. And Warren Easton is also up there. Warren Easton is playing Tyler, Texas in the battle on the border, and Lufkin, Texas is playing Parkway. also
Okay.
a Shreveport area school. All of those games at Independence Stadium, and that starts on Thursday and goes all the way through Friday. Thursday night tonight, as a matter of fact, it's underway. I don't have a score on it, though. St. Thomas More from the Lafayette area is playing Bird from the Shreveport area in the opening game of the Battle on the Border at Independence Stadium.
Wow. So those are some great games, fans. Guys, if you're anywhere near the area, go see some solid prep football. It's always entertaining to see these young guys just go after it, playing for bragging rights in their neighborhoods, as well as just bragging rights for the whole year. That's what really means a whole lot to these young guys, how they play the game. Let's turn to what has happened in the college ranks in the state of Louisiana, and we cannot stop but talk about why and how LSU was defeated on last week at Lambeau Field against Wisconsin. I watched that game, and I know, Professor, you said you watched the game as well. Coach, I don't know if you had a chance to watch it live, but it was disappointing, to say the least.
Exactly. You can't describe it any better than that. What do you think, Professor?
Yeah, see, he's so disappointed and distraught he can't speak. So
he's speechless.
He's
My goodness. We have a rare speech.
These doggone smartphones, they ain't that smart, I tell you.
It's a user error. It's a user error.
I did not. I tell you, Kyle, I got so disgusted after the first quarter. To be honest with you, man, with that game, I saw the last quarter and I just turned the TV off. I don't know what LSU's going to do. It's just like I said last night with the Saints. You have these teams having the same problems. I don't know what LSU's going to do in terms of their quarterback. I don't understand why this team cannot recruit a quarterback, a good quarterback. I don't want to down Harris because I think also some of the problem is the play calling. It's just, I don't know. I don't know if Les Miles and Cam are going to make it after this year. Some people want their head.
Yeah, and I kind of agree with you, Professor, and Coach. I want to get your take as well. Brandon Jennings, right? The kid has been in the program for 3 years now, right? Doesn't seem like there's much progress going on. And I don't watch the LSU scrimmage games and everything to that nature, but those coaches do. Something had to show early on, especially from the performances of last season, that we need to bring at least 2 or 3 recruit some kids at quarterback to come in and compete for this slot. Why do you think that Les Miles has been so stubborn, or do you think it's a combination of him being stubborn and Cam Cameron just not doing the job?
I think it's all of the above. There's always a variety of reasons. And by the way, Denver just tied Carolina 7-7 as they're 12 minutes to go in the second quarter. So that game's going to be going back and forth.
Good.
But Brandon Harris, his lack of progress to me is very, very troubling. I had great hope coming into the season that in his third year in the program and with his coaching and practice that he would really start to blossom into the type of quarterback that they've expected him to be. He was an Elite 11 quarterback coming out of the Shreveport area from Parkway, and got put in too early against Auburn, but that's not any excuse right now. This should be the time that he's really exploding on the scene, and it's a combination of all of the things that you brought up, and that's what's so troubling. And Professor, I was not unlike you. I couldn't watch the game for more than 2 minutes at a time. Then I'd watch it for 2 minutes and get angry, and then turn it off go to something else for a couple of minutes and then try to come back. And his lack of stability emotionally, he gets too excited and starts throwing the ball inaccurately. His decision-making, especially in pass protection, really was extraordinarily troubling to me, because pass protection starts with the quarterback directing the line to where they need to protect. He's the one that could see where the threats are. So his pass protection calls have got to be accurate. And from all the indications I'm getting out of Baton Rouge, he did a very poor job of that, was inaccurate early on, and he does not do a very good job in a play-action game when he's got to turn his back to the line of scrimmage. He's much better out of the shotgun, being able to face the line of scrimmage as he's faking the ball in the running game. Because what happens in play-action passes from under the center, you've got to turn your back to the defense for a period of time, go through your fake, and then turn back and be able to quickly focus and identify in the coverage where you need to go with the football. And some people have trouble doing that. And that certainly appears to be the case with Brandon Harris. So
okay, but
and his last interception was just absolutely inexcusable.
That's what I was about to say. I mean, look, I haven't played football in 30 plus years. Okay, and I know if I turn around and I see somebody in a different color, red jersey, I'm not throwing it to that guy.
Don't throw it to that guy. We're in white today, Brandon.
Yeah.
And the guy in white was 5 yards to the left of where he threw it, was open. There was no. He's going to the right guy. The corner couldn't see him because the corner was actually in front of the receiver.
If he just would have set,
but he misses it by, if not 5 yards, to the right of where the receiver is.
It was more
4
than
yards.
that.
I mean, it wasn't
no, Coach. You're being too kind. It was more than that. I'm not trying to rag on the young man, but I'm just trying to be honest about this.
More than 5 yards inaccurate, because the top of the numbers is 5 yards from the boundary. Okay, I mean that's why, and the receiver was 2 yards, was a yard from the boundary, so it was somewhere in between there. So it was a significant difference.
Thank you. All right, it was very significant, Coach, and not only that, man, it was a heartbreaking.
And they're in position to win the game.
Exactly, but here's my question: the kid threw the pass, but he didn't call the play.
Right. And I don't. There wasn't anything wrong with the play, other than the fact that the left tackle couldn't block J.J. Watt's brother and force a scramble. But once Harris got outside, and here's where he's got to be a playmaker.
Exactly.
Because he dodges a pass rush, gets outside, and he's got a blocker in front of him.
Exactly.
So he could keep the ball and
run,
or he could throw the ball to the open receiver. But he did the one thing that you just can't do, and threw it right to the guy. I mean, it wasn't even like the guy had to dive or. I mean, it's like he's there. He goes, "Look what I found."
Christmas in September.
Boy, you're right. So, could it? Was it the best play? Well, Fournette had just gotten hurt, but you still have a viable running back there. You probably need to protect the quarterback a little bit, but it looked like he was starting to come into his own a little bit. So. Could they have called a better play? Probably. Well, I mean, you always can. If a play doesn't work, you can always call a better play. Could the pass protection have been better? Yes. We actually could have touched Watt coming off the edge. Could Brandon Harris have made a better decision? Sure. Absolutely. Could he have thrown a more accurate ball? Of course. So there were so many things wrong with that last one, and that's what was so disappointing in the first game. That there were errors and errors and errors, not just in execution, but in assignment busts, play calling busts, not getting plays in on time, having to call a timeout with 3 seconds left in the third quarter,
right? Because
you can't get the play in time. There's plenty enough blame to go around, and that's what is disappointing or discouraging to me